Plant tissue system, our next topic, and today we'll be discussing meristematic tissues in plants. Plant tissue is a collection of similar cells performing an organized function. For the plant, and the body of a vascular plant is composed of three tissue systems: the dermal, the vascular, and the fundamental or ground tissues. The precursors of these tissue systems are meristem. Dermal or epidermal tissue system forms the outer protective covering of the plant and is represented in the primary plant body by epidermis. During secondary growth, the epidermis may be replaced by another dermal system, the periderm, with the Koch cells and forming the new protective tissues. Vascular tissue system consists of a number of vascular bundles which are found to be distributed in the stele, and the stele is the central slender portion of the stem and root. Each vascular bundle consists of xylem and phloem tissues with or without cambium. The vascular bundle elements are derived from the procambial strands of the primary meristem. Ground or fundamental tissue system extends from epidermis up to the center of the axis, excluding vascular tissues. The ground tissues constitute cortex, hypodermis, endodermis, pericycle, and pith. Plant tissues are generally divided into two categories: meristematic tissues and permanent tissues. Meristematic tissues continue to divide and take part in growth of the plant. Meristematic tissues are classified into four different types on the basis of some characteristic, like on the basis of origin, then based on position, based on cell division, and based on function. Meristem based on origin is of three types: promeristem, primary meristem, and secondary meristem. Then meristem based on the position is apical meristem and intercalary meristem. Then, and the third type is lateral meristem. Meristem based on the cell division is mass meristem, rib meristem, and plate meristem. And the last is meristem based on the function are protoderm meristem, ground meristem, and procambium meristem. Permanent tissue, these second type, permanent tissue ceases to divide and assume the permanent form and classified into three types: simple tissues, complex tissues, and third is means special types or secretory tissues. Then tissues, these all tissues help in providing the elasticity and flexibility to the plant organs. They divide to produce new cells and help in the growth of the plant. They also help in various cellular metabolisms. Simple tissues, in the case of permanent tissues, can be divided into three types: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Complex tissues like xylem and phloem, and secretory tissues like lentiferous tissues and glandular tissues, etc. So today we will discuss only meristematic tissues, and in the next class we will discuss permanent tissues. First is meristematic tissues. So meristematic tissues actually is a group of cells which is always in a state of active cell division, or the cells are always keep on dividing. For example, root tip meristem, stem tip meristem, cambium, leaf tip meristem, etc. So the main characteristic features of the meristem are meristematic tissue cells, means cells in the meristematic tissues, are isodiametric. You can see here in this diagram, all cells are of same diameter. They are thin-walled, have dense protoplasm and without intercellular spaces. You can see here no intercellular spaces are there. So nucleus is quite large. This is nucleus and large and conspicuous. Endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria are not fully developed in these tissues. So cells have thin cellulosic cell wall. They lack crystals, also plastids, and are present in proplastid stage. Metabolically, these are most active cells, and the rate of respiration is very high in meristematic tissues or cells. Next is classification of meristem. First, we will talk about meristem based on origin and development. On the basis of origin, meristem cells are divided into three types: promeristem, primary meristem, and secondary meristem. Promeristem or primordial meristem, a group of cells which represent primary stages of meristematic cells. For example, root and shoot apex. You can see here, this is shoot, and here means shoot apex, and this is root apex, tip of the root. Second is primary meristem. They are present right from embryonic stage in plants and remain active throughout the life of the plants. They are found below the promeristem at shoot and root apex, and at the apex of leaf and in intercalary parts. They give rise to primary permanent tissues. Then third type, on the basis of origin, secondary meristem. They are developed at the later stage in the life cycle of plants, and they give rise to secondary permanent tissues. For example, cambium and cork cambium. Then second type of the meristem, that is meristem based on the plane of cell region. On the basis of plane of cell region, meristem is of three types: mass meristem, plate meristem, and rib or file meristem. Mass meristem, here the cells divide anticlinally in all planes, so mass of cells is formed. For example, formation of spores, formation of cortex, pith, and endosperm. Here the example is, all are example of mass meristem. Second is plate meristem. Here the cells divide anticlinally in two planes, so plate-like area increased. For example, formation of epidermis and lamina of leaves. Then third type, rib or file meristem. Here cells divide anticlinally in one plane, so row or column of cell is formed. For example, formation of lateral root and filamentous algae. Third is meristem based on function. Based on function, meristem is of three types. Here, protoderm, ground meristem, and procambium. Protoderm are outermost meristematic cells and form epidermis and epidermal tissue system. Ground meristem, they form cortex, hypodermis, endodermis, pericycle, and pith. And the third is procambium. They are innermost meristematic cells and forms primary and secondary vascular tissues. And the fourth type, that is meristem based on position in plant body. On the basis of position in the plant body, meristems are of three types: apical meristem, intercalary meristems, and lateral meristem. Apical meristem, you can see here in this diagram, this is present at the apex, apical meristem. It is made up of round cells, promeristem, and these tissues are found at the apex of the stem and root. You can see here, this is root apex, this is shoot apex, apical meristem. this is at the root apical meristem. So they are responsible for increase in length of the roots and stem. Second type is intracranial meristem. You can see here, this is intracranial meristem. They are part of apical meristem and intercalated between permanent tissue. They bring about elongation of plant parts. It occurs in the leaves and internodes of many monocots, for example, stem of grasses and ecosystem. And a third type is lateral meristem. You can see here, this is lateral meristem. These meristems are present along the lateral side of the stem and root. Lateral side of the stem and roots. They divide in tangential plane and giving rise to the scanty permanent tissues to the means inside and outside and lead increase in the thickness or girth of the plant body. For example, fasciculated and interfascicular cambium and also cog cambium. Thank you.